So I've put everyone through the torture of presenting, so it's only just that I should also subject myself to the final presentation. I'm going to present the work we did in Norfolk to influence the behaviour of visitors to dunes. So you saw earlier the Holcombe estate, and you saw the numbers of visitors there. The 4 sites we chose to study in Norfolk have very similar pressures and issues with high number of visitors and dog walkers. So this is only karma. The presentation fails for me after I've had it fail for Marianne earlier. So we set out to put in place a proactive and strategic approach to visitor management to prevent erosion and informing dune management plans. And we worked with site managers through loads of workshops, and I know some of them are here today or are watching online, and and my thanks go out to them for coming to our workshops and putting up with us, and giving us valuable insight into your sites. And the main behaviour issues that were identified, dogs off leads we saw earlier, fires, barbecues in the dunes, visitors walking off paths in sensitive areas where they probably shouldn't, in particular at Winterton. John can attest there's quite a dangerous dune cliff, and people love to slide on their surfboards down the dune cliff, and children do that, which is a health and safety hazard. Following this workshop and following these different workshops, we then organised a communications workshop with local stakeholders and observer partners of the Endure project. It was facilitated by Kim, Chris and Georgia from the Open University with their way of thinking. So we ourselves as a project were an attendee to the workshop, and we weren't telling people what we thought the messaging should be. So we explored key messaging around respect, protecting and thinking about the dunes, and how do we put the dunes at the core of our communications. After that, it kind of evolved with the Countryside Code, which already includes the words enjoy, respect, protect as a way of behaving in nature areas. And so we developed the messages to respect and protect your dunes and enjoy wildlife responsibly, and giving ownership of the dunes to people. Since then, it's been taken on by the Wild Recreation Guide from the Wash and North Norfolk Marine Partnership, and all stakeholders in Norfolk are now using these messages, and it's had a massive impact, and we'll get into it in the next slide. So we then worked with our Norfolk County Council communications team, although I hate to plug them, but they did a good job on this one. So I will say that we then discussed how could we influence behaviour. And so a behaviour management campaign or influencing campaign using social media, invasive marketing trends where you see these videos because you've said something to your partner and all of a sudden you see videos about that random gadget you didn't need. Well, we're doing the same. We targeted people who were talking about dunes, talking about going to the beach, keywords, people who had visited the locality previously. And so we then drew up a budget and said we want a short video that plays, that's quite cool, that's not aggressive and has a soft message. And then we worked with a local design company to develop this video. We had planned for £10,000 initially, and we only used 5,791 of this. And we overachieved wildly on our targets, so that's a double win. From then, we made a video that was reusable and white labelled, so any organisation who wants to reuse this can even translate it. We then copied this video and applied it in France. So Céline, who presented previously, also used this campaign in northern France in French, so that's been a double success. I'm just going to play the video now so you can see. It's only 30 seconds.
When you're in sand dunes, please respect and protect your dunes. You should always keep dogs on short leads of no longer than 2 meters. Make sure you stick to the official paths. There's lots of amazing things to see, including seals and nesting birds. But please enjoy the wildlife responsibly. Thank you for protecting your dunes.
Short and easy, and quite soft in the design with on-trend marketing, according to our comms team, obviously. So then we decided to to push it with advertising on Facebook, because organic reach from Facebook pages is quite limited. So we checked firstly that we could do this, and we allocated budget for this. And for £250, we managed to reach 67,000 people, and that was just for getting the survey out and for getting the that's for the video over 2 sets of campaigns. And this was the first campaign back in 2019. We pushed it again this year. And in between, in 2020, we just used the organic page. It's over 50,000 plays on Facebook and Twitter. And still today, it's the most read video on Norfolk County Council's Facebook and Twitter pages. So that's quite a success. We were setting out on this video campaign, but of course, Endure is a scientific-based project. So we said to ourselves, how can we make sure that we're actually having an impact at all with this video? So we produced a survey before and a survey after the campaign. The survey prior to the campaign got 372 responses, and for the final campaign, we decided to push it a bit to get further, to get more replies. And as you can see there, there's a bit of advertising. I think it was £100 or something. And we got 640 odd replies to the survey with a conversion rate of 83%, which was really, really good. And I have some numbers for you. So the survey monitored key behaviours that we asked people whether they thought was totally unacceptable, acceptable, neutral, totally unacceptable, unacceptable, neutral, acceptable, totally acceptable, with different ranges. So to go through these numbers, the first important thing to note is that the blue is the first campaign and the orange is the second campaign. So what we've seen is that for dogs off leads in dunes, it went up approximately 3% on the totally unacceptable category. Interestingly, people originally did not know what the length of a lead for dogs was. But after our campaign and through posters and putting posts on alongside the video, the don't know dropped from 45 to 36%, and there was an increase in people who said it was 1 or 2 meters. 1 is too short, really. It's 2 meters, which is in the countryside code. So that was good. And I think the biggest success was around having a barbecue in the dunes. Totally unacceptable went up 17%, from 60% to 71%. So that will please people at Holcombe, that people are now getting used to the idea that having a barbecue in dunes is unacceptable. Worrying that 30% don't think it's totally unacceptable, but it's working. And finally, the big increase was around, is this site, are you aware of special conservation to the site? It was at 65%, it's now at 78%, so that's congratulations to all partners for pushing that messaging across, and that's really good, that's a 20% increase. And finally, the top number there is the change of demographics, and we believe it's due to COVID and staycationing, because the 2 campaigns targeted exactly the same keywords, locations visited, sites. However, in the second survey, we had a lot more people from over 50 miles away, so they were travelling from neighbouring counties on a day trip, when in the first instance we didn't get those people. So that's interesting as well. So we were capturing actually a wider range of people, and yet the messages were still getting through of how to behave on dunes. So that's something to continue in the future, and it's worked. Of course, and the final thing, 41% of them had heard about our campaign, which is, it plugs us a bit. So that's good. So the video cost approximately £5,000, and that's a saving that people can make by reusing hours if you wanted to run the campaign on your own social media pages. However, when visitors get to the site, there's still a big job for wardens in engaging. So we've worked with Holcombe there, and the pictures That's Andy, who presented earlier, and we were doing guided dune walks. This was pre-COVID, when we could still have people out in person. And those got unanimous praise on our feedback forms after the events. So I think there's something to continue doing guided walks. However, because of not being able to do it in person, we've now moved to online guided walks. So we've recorded a walk with a warden, and we were doing it for all our sites. And the idea is that you can take it on your mobile phone when you're going for a walk in the dune site, and you can follow a circular walk or just part of your walk and listen and hear about the conservation on the site in your own world, in your own time, or you can listen to it at home before you visit. Up to you. Yeah, so this leads me to the end of today's conference. If you have any questions about influencing visitor behaviour or my presentation, I'll be outside afterwards for those of you here. Anyone else at home, please email me. The contact details are on the website.